drive touring vehicles, people think they fail because of this.
Wow.
The reality is, there's something else going on. And most don't understand this until it's too late.
There goes the centre diff.
Snapped off in there.
The main killers of a touring vehicle are slow.
And there's 4 of them. It begins with the multiplier.
The one thing that makes everything worse. Then there's the biggest cause of failures. The thing that does the real damage.
That dustproof, Ronny?
Followed by the unsuspected weak points of your vehicle.
You don't want it to be something major.
And finally, the dirty bastards
Check that out.
that destroy your vehicle without you even knowing.
Guess I'm going home early.
The good news is, each and every single one of these has a fix, and each of them will give you warning signs. You hear that? If you know how to listen out for them, you won't get stranded in the middle of nowhere.
Wow, this little sucker.
It's not all about what breaks and how it breaks. It's more about stopping it from happening in the first place. Let's begin with the multiplier first, and that's weight. I've spoken about weight a lot in the past. This Land Cruiser at one stage was super heavy. The vehicle's too heavy, pulling too much. You are going to incur a lot more wear and tear on your vehicle. What might seem like just a few accessories.
Steel bull bar, winch, roof rack, rock sliders, bigger tyres, suspension upgrades, rooftop tent,
Alibaba special.
tow bar, 270 awning, max tracks, brush rails, second spare wheel, steel rear bar, jerry cans, high lift jack,
And that's just what you can see. What about under the car?
bash plates, rear locker, front locker, extended fuel tank, extra fuel tank,
Should we go into the car now?
drawer system, bridge on a slide,
Dual battery system, water tank,
Gravity fed?
onboard air compressor, recovery kit, tool kit, spare parts kit.
It's usually due to accessories. We're putting more stuff on the car, we're asking more out of it, more weight, more load. A lot of these accessories are necessary, but there are many that are not.
Regardless of being necessary or not,
Every single kilo increases the load on your suspension, driveline,
Tyres.
Chassis.
everything.
including your engine.
Really? Your engine?
Weight is the multiplier. Most people notice this early, if they tow.
It's a serious hill.
However, your engine is much more susceptible to this when off-roading.
So when you're consistently going 30 to 40 kilometers towing on soft sand, your EGTs get very high. Even without towing and you've got a fair bit of load on your vehicle, the same thing can still happen. Four-wheel drive tourers don't fail because they're weak. They fail because we're asking way too much out of them. We're expecting too much. You can't have a massive overloaded tourer and not expect to have some kind of wear and tear. I can't tell you what you should fit to your vehicle, but what I can do is give you the bolt method. Before you bolt it on, run it through the bolt filter. Benefit: is it serving a purpose? Solving a problem perhaps? Beneficial. My awning gives me shade, makes camping more pleasant, and makes rainy days way more tolerable. What's the benefit? Overlap. Is it interfering with anything else?
Yep. Might need to consult my mate on that little one there.
Is it causing you to get more mods because you've put this thing on, whatever that might be?
Obviously this system needs a little bit of refinement just to get the awning to come around with the temp holes.
Load, how many more kilos are we adding? Drop the bit. Put this against the time you're going to use it for. Here's something I use every single time I drive.
As opposed to
13,000 pound winch, yet to be actually used off-road.
If it justifies a bolt filter, well then I guess it's a yes. If it doesn't, well that's up to you.
You may be thinking, you'll be right, I'll just get a GVM upgrade. Although a very good idea.
It simply means you can carry that extra weight legally.
but
Doesn't mean the weight isn't still there.
Really think about what you are adding on, what this may compromise or put at risk.
It's not all about reducing weight either. It's about positioning the weight in the correct spot. Fix your center of gravity where you can. There's always improvements you can make, so you can optimize your vehicle. Where you can, bring it as close to or directly above the axle. If it's off the back, it's going to affect the vehicle, so it's important that you pull that weight as close to within the wheels as you possibly can.
and a bonus tip.
Heavy items, keep them as low as possible. You don't want heavy items up top because it wrecks your center of gravity.
And so far, I've only covered the modifications to your vehicle. You still got to load all your stuff in
Camping gear, cooking gear, whatever you want to call it.
before you pack it in your vehicle. Load up. Likelihood of use.
Be honest with yourself here. Are you going to use it or have you used it? You can't use fire cooking stuff during fire ban, so why is it in the car in the first place?
Occupied space.
How much space is it taking up? Is it inconvenience?
Added weight.
How much does it weigh?
Oh, one more rep. You really got to know that too.
Duplicates.
Have you got two of the same thing? Bring a mallet, tent peg hammer, mechanical hammer, my copper hammer. Here's the gimpy, a regular hammer. Do you need both? You could just use the back of your axe.
Used when? If you can't picture when you'll use it, you probably won't use it at all.
Just because it fits doesn't mean it belongs.
Problem if you don't bring it?
Will it be a problem if you don't have it?
A first aid kit, a fire extinguisher are two things that you do not want to be leaving behind, and you will be missing them.
If it doesn't pass all the filters, it doesn't go back in. Weight you don't carry can't break your car. Your vehicle's going to last so much longer.
And the lighter you are, the more likely you'll survive. Cause number 2.
Weight doesn't just sit there, it multiplies force. Every bump, every rock, every rut, every washout, every corrugation.
Bang, bang, bang.
Corrugations don't care about legality or your GVM.
My traction control keeps flickering on and off.
Corrugations are the #1 cause for failures. It's one of the bolts that come loose from his leaf spring locator. There are two different types of corrugations, low frequency and high frequency. In simple terms, low frequency, it translates to bigger gaps between the corrugations.
Yes, with all these bumps, the vehicle's starting to work a lot harder.
It also translates to deeper holes. Yep, the ones that smash your car. It's the type of corrugation you know is not good for your vehicle. What about the high frequency corrugation with the smaller gaps between? It's a very fine high frequency vibration that goes through the entire vehicle, through the chassis, through the bodywork. The longer you sit on it, fatigue occurs.
Sounds a bit loose.
Metal parts on plastic parts, plastic on plastic, metal on metal, cracks will occur.
Until eventually,
Tyre ran off.
Oh.
Car went sideways.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
But with high frequency corrugations, that's not even the worst part. That vibration generates a lot of heat.
I'm telling you, it's rough.
And this heat generated makes everything so much worse. And we'll get to that very shortly. But now you know the difference between smash your car corrugations and your heat generating corrugations. The reality is, you'll be facing both of these at the same time.
But amongst all these corrugations, there are also washouts, big potholes, you name it.
So what do we do about it? Drive faster because we can't feel it that much?
I wouldn't do that.
Every second you're driving at 80 kilometers per hour on your average corrugated road, each wheel is hitting it 32 times per second, 80 kilometers per hour. For 1 hour, every wheel is going to hit it over 114,000 times. Combine all 4 tyres, 457,000 times. Your wheels and suspension are working overtime, flogging themselves out, getting too hot, causing more fatigue. The shock absorbers have now overheated and are fading.
so what should you do?
Let's say you've been driving for quite some time on corrugation. Things have got a bit rough. It's good to just take a break. The corrugations here are quite big. Refresh yourself, but check the vehicle, check the shocks.
This simple check will save you thousands of dollars and from disaster.
So I've got my shocks there, I feel.
The shock check. You've been on the corrugation for quite some time. What is the procedure? It's simple. You take your hand and you put it on the shock.
I feel really good, actually.
The rule of thumb goes, if you touch it, it's cold, well, it's nice and warm to hold. I reckon Chris is becoming a responsible driver all of a sudden. Whatever you're doing, stick with it. It's good. If, on the other hand, 3 to 5 seconds, you gotta get your hand off.
Oh, yours are a bit warmer. Really?
You need to adjust your speed and your tyre pressure. Both of those to suit. Wait a little bit, drive again, and don't wait too long to check it again. If, on the other hand, it is cooking hot and you cannot touch it, I'm sorry, my friend.
Your shocks are fucked.
The vehicle's now unstable, getting dangerous to drive, especially on tight bends and corners, and all the vibrations are making it straight into the chassis, straight into the bodywork, straight into the vehicle.
Which is depending on what corrugations I'm driving on, will depend on what else shakes on the vehicle.
But there's something really simple you can do to make it all go away. Well, mostly go away. And that begins at ground level. Your tyres are the first contact point with the ground.
Air down, or you will get stuck.
But you're wearing your nice fancy shoes and they got a stiff sole on them. But you go for a run, your knees are gonna hate it. You know what I mean? It's the first part of your suspension. Or think of it this way. That's your shoe and that is your knee. And if your tyre pressure is up really high, it's not doing much. It'll inflict more shock load to your suspension. If you have a pair of runners, your knees are gonna thank you. We're lowering this so that the shock absorber doesn't get too hot. But in doing so, the tyre is going to generate heat. Faster speed means more cycles, more heat. And more weight equals more load on the tyre, generating more heat. When it comes to the front, you're likely going to have slightly less air than what's in the back. Because in the rear, depending on how heavy you are, you could in fact need to go up to about 50 psi. Maybe even slightly higher.
However, like with trainers, it's definitely not one PSI fits all. And the best example I can give you is from a recent desert trip I did with the Grenadier. At the beginning, I found the best pressure for me to run was 50 PSI.
Yep, 50 psi.
And that was vastly different to what the other guys had.
I'm sitting on speeds of around 80 to 90 kilometers per hour. The corrugations weren't too bad in this situation. They got much worse later on, at which point I did drop the pressure a bit more. Gives you an indication of the tyre pressure that I required.
Big rig.
Yeah, it's a big rig, isn't it?
Really good.
Jaden, for instance, 76 series, same track, same time of day. His vehicle was much lighter. Jaden's tyre pressure, 35 psi. It also changes on the type of tyre you have, but it's important that you check your tyre to see how high you can actually go. My tyres can go up to 65 psi, and that's when they're cold.
The perfect pressure is going to be different for everyone. The question is, how do we find the perfect pressure?
Not too low, not too high.
A heavy vehicle with 40 psi and a really light vehicle with 25 psi, they could technically sit on the same speed and generate the same heat.
But here's a simple guideline you can follow to at least get very close.
Regardless if you're on corrugations or a highway, you are always balancing tyre pressure, speed and weight. The heavier the vehicle is, the more pressure you need in those tyres. The lighter the vehicle is, the less pressure you need in your tyres.
So if your car's really heavy, don't go too low. If your car is very light, don't be scared to go lower than what you would expect.
Making corrugations more comfortable by lowering your tyres does come at a cost. If you drive too fast with low pressures, you'll build up intense heat within the tyre.
When tyres overheat, all the cords and the steel cables inside the tyre get really hot. And when they get hot, they're chafing at the rubber itself, and this causes the tyre to weaken, and at some point it'll blow out.
But that's only if you overheat the tyre. All of these need to match. Go too fast with high pressure, you rattle your car to bits. Go too fast with low pressure, you already know what happens. You gotta find somewhere in the middle.
That way we can contain the heat to a manageable point. There are other factors at play though. Ambient heat
Just dropped to 43.
and the type of corrugation. Lowering your tyres will improve everything. Otherwise the balance is out of whack, which is no good for anyone. Because without any tyres, doesn't matter how good your suspension is, you're not going anywhere.
We've covered the multiplier, and we've covered the worst cause of them all.
Oh, how much better is that?
It's now time to look at the most vulnerable parts of your vehicle.
Hey Ronny, you missing something?
The bits you really need to keep an eye, an ear,
Something else sounds a bit loose.
and a hand on. The accessory paradox.
You know, what normally does break on a vehicle is usually something that's attached to the vehicle after the fact. A vehicle itself, you wouldn't really expect much to go wrong. When it does go wrong, it's usually due to accessories.
It was so easy to install and mount this roof rack.
But we also can't get away from it because there are some modifications we want to do to the vehicle to make it safer, more bush-proof.
One advantage of having it on a bull bar.
More comfort.
You can manage this by listening.
So when driving the outback or any old gravel road, you're going to hear a lot of noise. You get used to it after a while. You know what is a normal sound.
Hopefully you can hear me.
And then you know what is a new sound.
Something else sounds a bit loose.
So how do you distinguish the different sounds? Trying to find an annoying sound can be difficult sometimes, but I've got a few methods. The car's still running. You kind of want that too. Sometimes when the car's running, it's going to help that noise sink through the car. But I normally just grab stuff that can sometimes be loose, rock the car, and you'll be able to identify it. Because it'll sound very similar. There's a squeak. That's a busher right there. These are the points on suspension components that will usually give you a bit of grief and a bit of noise first. What happens? The dust can dry out all the grease. So I need to grease them. If you don't, they start squeaking, they start deteriorating, and guess what? Nylon and rubber is gonna die before metal. Then you start getting clunks. Dunk, dunk, clonk, clonk.
So imagine you just started your journey, 300 kilometers into some rough corrugations.
And you're already hearing that, you might want to sort something out.
That said, you won't always find a root cause that easily. Here's something else you can do.
But here's a tip I would suggest you do when you return from a trip, even before you leave on a trip too. The mallet. The reason why a hammer is really good, you can't always get the same effect with your hand. Sometimes it can be as simple as something like a tie down point. That's what you want. You don't want it to be something major.
We'll lock the front hubs and I guess I'm going home early.
Problem found, but
It's no good finding a rattle if you can't fix it, right?
what's the solution?
We're picking the roof rack as the example. Any nuts and bolts, washers that suits the roof rack or whatever that item is, bring the spare bolts.
However, if that's not possible,
I didn't bring my spare bolts, nuts and bolts. That's one thing I failed at doing.
it might be worth considering pinching some nuts and bolts from elsewhere.
I've had that scenario before on one of my control arms. I was missing one of the nuts and I desperately needed one. So we found one somewhere else. Suspension, it's quite important on a vehicle. So you could look on a bash plate. Cross members have a lot of nuts and bolts on them. You can fix the problem there and then.
But you don't always have to pinch them from your own vehicle.
This isn't what it looks like.
Often the Outback Recycle Centre
Hey guys, we've got a Triton here, broken down.
can come pretty good.
We're just stripping some bolts off it because we need to fix the retainers on Chris's car.
Just make sure wherever you pinch these bolts and nuts from, it's not something important or more important than what you're trying to fix.
But we need to fix those retainers, otherwise we could end up having to add another car to the canning.
Dream.
It's okay, mate.
Jesus.
The multiplier, the worst cause, the most vulnerable parts. Now for the downright dirty and ugly.
Dust,
That dust proof, Ronny?
water.
Mix those two together.
I'm gonna end up with problems.
The silent bastard that'll take your vehicle down and you don't even know it's happening.
Mud is the worst. It blocks radiators. Once that gets blocked, it doesn't take long.
Let's get to the bottom of it. So the problem aren't the seals themselves. They're usually pretty good. The problem is they're not designed to sit in water for a long period of time. If you get stuck in here and you're sitting there for a while, water will make its way through. It's just not worth it. However, it can also make its way through really fast. Your engine is going to be warmed up, it's going to be hot. When that cold water comes in, heat expands, cold contracts. When you've got a hot metal part touching cold water, guess what's going to happen? Something hot's going to suck in the moisture. The bad thing is, when it sucks in the moisture and it's mud, it's got a silt in it. That'll mix with bearing grease and eventually you're going to get this squeaky noise.
The cars started making a bit of a noise after the water crossings.
And then after a while, but now it's starting to do a few clicking noises. It's starting to grind to a paste inside of it, I think.
It causes all kinds of premature wear.
It's going to slowly grind away at it. And the more times you do it, the worse it gets. Which is exactly why we do this before we cross a river. Sit and wait longer before you cross that river. It allows everything to cool down, because as we spoke about before, if you've got a hot diff or a hot driveline entering that water, it's going to suck in that moisture.
Before we talk about the solution to all this, there is one more problem. No, not scratching your car.
It's going to sound horrible in the troopy.
It's what comes off the trees.
When we drive through tight bush area, especially in spring and autumn,
Debris can get stuck into interesting places.
Bash plates off. Check that out.
Heaps of grass and stuff stuck in between the two radiators.
And it all adds up.
a weed killer and just give it a little gentle spray in there.
And the added problem.
How do we work out there's a problem or something's happened to wheel bearings, for example? You can't really check it on the track. Anything with contamination, you hear it, too late. You need to sort it out immediately. Here's one situation that I heard the day before it went.
Got a bit of an issue with the cruiser. Think it might be a collapsed bearing.
Backs to cliffs, wheel bearings burnt out. Wheel bearings gone. And sometimes you can catch it before you can hear it. Once lubricants and oils have disappeared or have been contaminated, heat builds up pretty quick.
This hub is so hot,
You can use your hand.
you can't hold it for too long.
If you can't keep your hand on your wheel hubs, there's likely a problem.
Even better, you can get a heat gun. With a heat gun, you don't have to get your hands dirty. You can check your hubs, your shock absorbers. That's the only way you're going to know if there's a difference.
Comparing one hub to the other.
That'll do. But the ultimate way to find out if your wheel bearings are compromised or anything else in your vehicle is maintaining the vehicle.
I need this vehicle sorted out.
Service before you go on a big trip.
Because, you know, I need this vehicle to be super reliable.
That will prevent 99.999 of anything from the past haunting you over time.
I didn't have a fully serviced vehicle on this trip, and there you go.
And to figure out if your cooling system has an issue, there's a very easy solution to that.
One of the best ways to monitor your engine temps,
A scan gauge or an OBD sensor or something like that to get the actual digital reading.
these will tell you down to the very degree how hot things are.
You can't rely on your vehicle gauges.
Using the gauge on your dash is not going to tell you a whole deal. Once that hits red, it's too late.
Rather than guessing by the needle, you can count each digit as it rises.
Even in my stock troopy, I have a scan gauge to keep an eye on my temperatures. It's good to know where all the parameters are sitting.
It helps to know how your vehicle behaves on a normal day.
And that's the only way you're going to find out if something is slightly amiss.
Then you can compare it to a rough day,
Oh, that's a bit bumpy.
a hot day,
It's 7:24 and it's 35 degrees.
a muddy day.
Over time, learn what is a normal operating temperature of your vehicle.
It's just so important to gauge what your vehicles are doing.
A very early detection that something might be wrong.
If everything has to work harder, under load, exhaust gas temperatures go up.
EGT's exhaust gas temperature.
I have to note, I'm not going to jump into this here. I've got a whole video on that. And every vehicle is different. The hotter you run, the shorter the life of your vehicle. Especially for turbocharged vehicles like most diesel engines.
These are all compounding problems. Corrugations, dirt, water, dust, it all accumulates. And weight amplifies everything.
Dropped a bit.
So next time something fails on you out in the middle of nowhere, ask yourself, where could this have possibly started?